You ever find yourself in the middle of a really tough moment and you're not actually feeling it? You're explaining it? We're going to dive into that powerful shield our mind puts up and, what it really means for our emotional health.
So, just for a second, think about the last time you were really hurting. Did you find yourself analyzing it, breaking it down, trying to explain the why and the how of what you were feeling? Or did you just feel it? It seems like a small difference, right? But trust me, it's a really, really important one.
And hey, if that sounds like you, here's what's so fascinating. This isn't some kind of flaw, not at all. It's actually seen as a defense mechanism of a really sharp analytical mind. Your brain is basically trying to think its way out of a feeling.
So this intellectual shield we're talking about, it actually has a name. It's called cognitive distancing. Let's really break down what that means and, how it works to protect us.
Okay, so with cognitive distancing, your mind basically becomes a scientist in a lab coat. It takes this raw, messy, complicated emotion, puts it on a slide, and looks at it through a microscope. It's all about analyzing it from a safe, sterile distance. The goal here isn't to experience the feeling, it's to manage it, to control it, by just understanding it intellectually. And here's the trade-off, right? On one hand, using logic like this is super effective at stopping that feeling of emotional overwhelm. That sense of just being completely swamped by it all. But the long-term cost? Well, that's where it gets tricky. It can leave you feeling kind of numb or just totally disconnected from yourself and maybe even from the people you care about.
But what if there's another way? What if there's an approach that doesn't require putting up that wall, that distance, but instead helps you build a totally different kind of emotional strength? Well, let's dive into that. So this alternative is called emotional regulation. And the wording here is absolutely key. It is not about ignoring or numbing the emotion. It's all about developing the ability to actually feel that wave of emotion come in, to understand it, and then to manage your response, all without letting it pull you under.
So how does that work in the real world? Well, instead of analyzing the pain from way over there, you actually acknowledge it. You kind of lean into it, just enough to understand what it might be trying to tell you. And the result? You get a heart that's controlled, where you're the one guiding your emotional response, instead of a heart that's just numb and shut down.
Okay, this chart really lays it all out, side by side. Just look at the role of the mind in each one. With cognitive distancing, your mind is the analyst, right? It's standing back, observing, and the outcome is emotional disconnect. But with emotional regulation, your mind becomes a guide. It's actively participating, and that leads to emotional understanding. It's literally the difference between just watching your emotions and actually engaging with them.
So this brings us to a really important question. Are we aiming for a numb heart or a guided heart? And, maybe more importantly, how do we choose which tool to use when things get tough? And I want to be super clear about this. This isn't about one being good and the other being bad. Not at all. Think of cognitive distancing like an emergency brake in a car. It can be absolutely crucial in a moment of crisis. The real problem starts when that emergency brake is the only tool you ever use.
Ultimately, the real goal here is to build a full emotional toolkit. It's about having the wisdom to know, okay, now is a time I need to step back and analyze. And now is a time I need to step in and actually feel. Because true emotional resilience, it really comes from finding that perfect balance between the mind and the heart.
So I'll leave you with this question. The next time life starts to feel overwhelming, just notice. Which tool does your mind instinctively reach for first? Is it the analyst's microscope or is it the guide's hand? Because simply knowing your go-to instinct, well, that's the very first step toward consciously choosing your response instead of just letting a reaction happen to you.